What is going on, everybody? Podcast arc, episode number 8. Spencer, we've had a couple of successful episodes in a row, and I'm getting pretty stoked of where we're at. So, as always, I'm Jim, and that's Spencer.
What's up, everyone?
Today we're talking Chainsaw Man. Today we're talking the Chainsaw Man REZE arc movie. Spencer, I want to tee you up for this one because you're anime only for Chainsaw Man, correct?
Anime only and didn't even finish season 1.
That's bananas. You didn't finish season 1?
Nope, didn't even tell you that.
No! That's crazy. You're a little cheater. Oh my god. We have a podcast. We have an anime podcast, and you're not consuming the medium that we're talking about.
I'm like a 75% of the way through it, and then like I just kind of.
Where did you leave off?
I thought they were collecting some of the Gun Devil pieces.
Okay. All right. You're not too far back then. Okay.
No, I'm not.
Did you saw the Infinity Devil?
I believe so. Yeah.
Where they're in the aquarium.
The hotel?
Yes, the hotel. Forgive me. Yes, I think the aquarium is a later chapter with the same devil. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, the hotel. That's right. And he just throws himself in with the chainsaw. Did you see him fight the old guy, the guy with the older devil hunter whose name I'm forgetting right now?
That's like the first. Isn't that within like the first 2 episodes?
No, it's later in. Maybe it could be early. No, it's not too early because Makima. First episode, obviously, he gets chainsaw powers. Makima rescues him. Then he's talking to Makima, and she like feeds him and stuff. He becomes a devil hunter. Aki shows up. Aki beats his ass. All that stuff. It's later on when him and Power are training with this guy who has like it's the animated scene everybody talks about where she's using the blood manipulation to like stab through the door, like the eye hole with the blood spear, and then
they're like fighting within that walkway, like outside of the door, right?
Yes, exactly that.
Okay,
have you gotten there?
I know I've definitely seen that clip.
You've either gotten there or seen the clip. Yeah. Okay.
I've definitely seen that clip before.
Anyway, you're I mean, for reference, to be fair, early Chainsaw Man, as good as it is.
And I have a hot take that apparently a lot of people agree with on the internet. So.
Ooh, I'm curious to hear what it is. But my thing with Chainsaw Man is Chainsaw Man's a tremendous story that gets going after the REZE arc, in my opinion. Like, that's where that story really tees up, and it falls off after the public safety, as I said before, but I shouldn't say it falls off. It becomes something very different that I'm not quite as fond of, but symbolically and everything else, it's still very, very high level. But anyway, what did you think of the movie overall?
Movie overall? Piece of art.
Wonderful, right?
Animation, top notch. Voice acting, top notch. Soundtrack and atmosphere of the soundtrack, top notch.
Hot take.
There wasn't anything bad about it.
Hot take, my favorite anime soundtrack thus far. Which is saying a lot. Like, Attack on Titan Season 4, My Hero Academia, like, all of it. Naruto, genuinely, like, excluding the intro, which, in my opinion, 10 out of 10 intro. Excluding the intro.
Oh yeah, great song.
Soundtrack was amazing. Soundtrack was, like, the actual soundtrack was spectacular.
I did think that the IMAX theater that we were in was a little loud at certain points, like too loud. But other than that, everything was amazing.
I would agree. I think it was a little loud at points. But I think that with something like Chainsaw Man, I sometimes feel like it leans into being a little rougher. And I don't mean that to be like a super film like nerd, but I almost appreciate that at times it was like, Jesus, like it was hammering on you a little bit because of how big some of those moments were. Like, the moment for me that really stands out is when they get to the Devil Hunter like HQ where Aki is, and she blows the fucking building up. Like, that for me was like
throws her head through the front of the building.
Throws her head. Everybody. Yeah. Real quick, I mean, we already have done it, but major spoilers for REZE arc movie. Like,
there's no way of talking about this movie without talking about the spoilers.
I'm gonna put it in the title, but like that was more of a moment that we just spoiled. But like the rest of the movie, massive spoilers if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, I totally agree with you. From an animation perspective, I said this after we watched it, like minutes after, and I wanted to get it out on the podcast. That was the Madara. That was the Sukuna and Maharaga fight for an hour and 40 minutes. Even in the moments that were not action, it was animated to that level the entire time.
Animated to perfection and to AT.
From the moment that they're making breakfast in the apartment with the intro, like, and the intro was an insane acid trip extravaganza, like. Imagine like a prepubescent boy, which is what Denji is in his mind, on an outrageous amount of acid while listening to like Japanese pop music. That was the fucking intro. It was banana land. You've got like lingerie clad anime girls. You've got like psychedelic visuals. You've got this super intense, hyper like pop, like Japanese. Really good song. I really liked Iris Out, like just as a piece of music as well.
Heavy metal action scenes.
Yes, and then it drops into these insane, like graphic, violent like scenes. Very well done, like just tremendously well done from the very first beat, and that's including that black and white scene with
at the very beginning.
Pochita, like it's because that scene, like there is a lot of depth there. That is narratively important. So having that in that black and white,
so I kind of had to look into that.
Yeah. I can't remember if that's
we're not that far into the overall story of Chainsaw Man yet.
Being a manga, we're not.
For the sake of the series, I know why they put that in there, but for the sake of the movie, it doesn't really like that scene doesn't really add much to the movie itself, to the overall story of the movie.
Yeah, being a manga reader for some things is sometimes hard because I forget what's anime like shown. What like I know why that door is there. I know, and it's in season 1 too. The door is also in season 1, and I'm like, I know why it's there. I know what Pochita is telling him, but like I can't remember if it's been revealed yet. To clarify, I don't think it has. Am I right?
I don't think so.
Okay, we'll gloss over it then. But yeah, from that first opening beat of the black and white through the opening to like him bringing power to like Makima's office, and then like him going to like walking around the streets and the rain and like the very like prototypical romance, like stuck in the phone booth in the rain, the cafe, like it is so it channels a little bit of Dandadan for a second there, and obviously like. This is pre-Dandadan, right? Like obviously, but like it channels that like, hey, this is a really well done love story for a few beats here. Like this is good, and then like it really starts crushing that. Like it really transcends that for like another 40 minutes. Like I'm like no hyperbole, and then the Typhoon Devil happens.
I do want to touch on something real quick.
Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
There were just multiple moments throughout where I thought to myself, and I almost said it out loud to you, they're just showing off. Mappa was purely just showing off why they're top 3, top 5 studios that's around right now.
Top 3, like, dude. They're top 2, and they're not 2. And that's from a Bones fanboy. Yeah,
of them, just even that moment of them kissing and the fireworks popping, I was like, this is just one of the most beautiful animated scenes I've ever seen.
And that's the beat drop. That's the crazy part. Is like the climax. Isn't that crazy? That like that's where we reach that cliff point, is right there. And then there's a subsequent 40 minutes of the most intense, well animated action I've ever seen in an anime. Period. Forget anime movies, forget like Mappa, forget like Studio Bones, forget going back to like older stuff that I've seen, like the hand-drawn stuff that I'm obviously a huge fan of. That is some of the best stuff I've seen, period, for 40 straight minutes. And I wanted to touch on like the what I think is that moment where it gets a little unsettling. I spoke to a friend of ours, Corey, friend of the show. Shout out to Corey. And Corey is exclusively an anime reader watcher. He was not spoiled either. So Corey went into this with no preconceived notions about what happens and what this story's about. So when she is running from the killer in the school, he's like, "Oh my god, like this is the bad guy. Like what's going to happen?" And then she goes like Russian assassin on his ass.
There's a lot of subtlety that they put of
Yes.
hinting at things,
Yes.
of like her not being so innocent, and then like the darkness underneath the innocence of, I know we talked about this personally, the cutaway back and forth of the spider slowly ensnaring that butterfly.
Yes, that is
slowly grasping Denji into like her grip and just getting him closer and closer, so that he has no idea of what she could possibly be.
The bomb choker is such a, like, it is such an obvious, like,
I kind of wish I never even saw the trailer, because that was how I already knew what she was based on the trailer. If I had never watched that, I would have not have known that, like, what she exactly was.
That is such a perfect little, like, nudge, because Denji has the chainsaw cord on his chest, so her having a grenade pin, like, that is such an in plain sight perfect placement that it's like chef's kiss. What a great moment that is. So like from that moment,
a little personal touch that I loved was them not adding subtitles, looking back on it, on the Russian song.
Yes, that's a great moment too. Yeah, that is when she's doing this, because you get the sense right there, like everything's not what it seems, like right there, but it's still a salvageable moment here. Like has she come to protect Denji? Is there another villain that we're again? If you're not a manga reader, you don't know this. Is there another villain we're looking out for? Who sent the killer? Was he here to kill Denji or the girl? Like, what's kind of, because we know people are after Denji. We know that.
Yeah, we know that much.
And then she fucking bites his tongue out of his mouth.
I pulled back. I physically pulled back because I didn't see that coming. I haven't. This arc, I knew nothing about. So I walked into this movie pretty dry on like what was going to happen. So I didn't know what was going to happen. And when he pulls back and you just see the blood dripping from his mouth, you're like, and then she pulls her tongue out and you see his, and you're like, oh my god, what the fuck is about to happen?
Yeah. And then you get Beam, like, chainsaw, like, flying over the hill. He's goated.
MVP goes to Beam.
MVP goes to Beam. Dude, the scene where I forget who's talking to him, but I can't remember who it was, but they're like, you're not using your full powers, like your chains. You can use your chains to fly around and like then do things. And he's like, I got it. No pressure. And he wrangles Beam like a horse and rides him into battle. And we were at work the other day. Yeah. We were at work the next day. We were talking about it with like a non-anime watching coworker. And we were like, yeah, Chainsaw Man, you're familiar. And she's like, I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, he rides a shark into a typhoon that looks like a baby. Oh, and then he kills the baby typhoon while a girl with a grenade for a head attacks. Like when you explain an anime like Chainsaw Man at a very blunt level, it's just bananas. But again, it works because it revels in its own absurdity. Like it drips with the absurdity, and it really works. It, for me, is like the opposite of like a One Punch Man, where One Punch Man is so absurd and it doesn't even take itself seriously. Chainsaw Man is like, yeah, this is the most insane shit you've ever seen in your life, and I'm dead serious about it. Like, that's what I love about it, is there's no backing down from the absurd.
I love how unapologetically like insane it is.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. It is unapologetically just, I'm going to write the most, and it gets crazier. I've mentioned the STD Devil very, very briefly to you, like in passing. That's where this goes. Like the insanity doesn't calm down. We've got STD Devils. We've got
weird ass universe.
Yeah, we've got absurdity out the ass in this show, in this story, and the fact that he does not like give you an inch of like wink and a nod. He takes it dead serious the entire time. Is just so like it just transcends other things in the medium that will give you a wink and a smile at their absurdity. They'll let you know, like, yeah, this is a little silly. No, there's
Nope,
not
serious
even
all the
an
way through.
illusion. The fact that he's having this like wet dream, like daydream, and one of the people he's daydreaming about is the angel, who's actually a guy. Like he doesn't. There's no backing down. And the guy's in like women's lingerie. He's like, yeah, kind of cute, but I think it's a guy. Like Denji's just so sex oriented that he's
Yeah,
not able to function as a regular person. And then he has that really sad like monologue when he's standing on top of the car and he's like, everyone's after my chainsaw heart. What about Denji's heart? And
I
she
did really
just
like that touch.
doesn't give a fuck. And what's cool about that is it almost counteracts my point, but again, it remains dead serious. Where he's not giving a wink and a nod to the absurdity of like, yeah, like I recognize that I'm a sex fiend and like I just want human attention. He literally is like starved for attention to the point that he's willing to accept someone who bit his tongue out of his mouth and then proceeded to kill 100 people and has killed thousands of people. He is so starved of love that he will literally accept it from anywhere. From a grown woman he's barely known. He will
Yep.
accept it from another grown woman with an eye patch who threw up in his mouth. Like he will literally accept that love from anywhere. And it's so like that's almost the most graphic thing about Chainsaw Man is it's this really unique story about like neglect and how
And
that ruins people.
yeah, looking back on it, it was very like it's interesting looking back on it with the scene where he's like fantasizing over all of them. But at the same time, like he's so confused on what love is because he's never gotten it. He doesn't know who to look for it in and what to look for.
That's a great point that I hadn't thought about. He doesn't even know what to look for. Like he literally is incapable of even having a baseline of what love is. He literally has to have Makima even tell him that he has a heart. He's like unaware if he even has a human beating heart because his connection to other people is so disjointed. Like he has literally not an ounce of
And I
like
would say
human connection.
especially after what he thinks he becomes a monster.
Yeah, that's a again, like he literally goes from being a regular person to being a devil human hybrid that otherwise doesn't largely exist outside of two or three other people.
Yeah.
It's a really brutal existence that he has. And as I was telling you as we walked out of the theater, it only gets worse. Like this does not get any better for the foreseeable future. It gets worse by a lot. And knowing that for me kind of bums me out because this is an arc where it's like you kind of hope that on the other side of it there's some happiness, and there is.
And for somebody that like hadn't seen the movie, there was that little tiny part of me that kind of wished that REZE was gonna get to Denji at the cafe.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up next was how tragic is that ending, right?
It's so sad because, and it's kind of insane saying that, knowing what she does to him. But at the end of it, you're like, she's the only person that's kind of shown him kind of what we were talking about, like what love can kind of be without it being Denji just being their weapon.
It transcends even that. It literally is. She's the only person that understands Denji. She's the only person that possibly could. Her exact life story is a mirror of Denji. She's just Denji 3 steps ahead, is what she is, literally. She was a child that was made into this weapon. Denji, much the same, was a child that was made into this weapon. Now, granted, he was further along in his life when it happened to him, but like that's the reality of the situation is she was abused her entire childhood. She had, I mean, think like I guess like a Black Widow type thing where she was literally like no human connection other than probably physical and perhaps sexual violence. Like she has nothing to grasp onto in terms of human connection. And when Denji's like like the pool, like that wasn't fake. I felt that. And I know you did too. He's right. And that's where it kind of is this full circle moment of like, oh, Denji does know what love is.
And she refuses to believe him and accept it until the very, very end.
And that's why I say Denji is just her like 2 steps behind, because he is human enough still that he's able to recognize those human emotions. Like he's able to still grasp on, and it's like, it's almost like you don't need to learn what love is. Love is innate is kind of what the message is there. Love is an innate feeling that we all have inside of us. We don't need to be taught it. When we know it, we know it. And he's like, that was real. I know it was real. I felt it. I know you did too. And he did. He was right. He was absolutely right. Because in that last moment, when she has an opportunity to leave and abandon it and never see Denji again and never be in danger again, because she could just go off and she's basically invincible for all intents and purposes. No real person or mortal person could kill her. She can get away and live a normal life. She doesn't. She goes back. She tries to find Denji because she knows that it's real. And Makima kills her. Like,
I have a question, since you've seen farther into the manga, and I don't mind being told this. So does Makima just like, did she know that like she was coming back, or does she like kind of have a tracker on Denji of kind of like a all knowing of what is going on around him?
Makima knows everything.
Okay. Because she is.
Spoilers for later. Chainsaw Man. Do you know what Makima is?
She's one of the horsemen, right?
No, she is not one of the horsemen. Makima is the control devil. So what Makima is literally the devil of is people's fear of being dominated, controlled, coerced, forced to do things, etc.
Got you.
The powers that she then has, obviously, are she can control people. She can control animals. So she has eyes everywhere. So when those rats come at the end of the movie, hint, hint, nudge, nudge, that's a huge foreshadowing. She's controlling those rats. And she knows everything.
So obvious, but kind of hidden at the same time.
Right. She controls everything. Everything that's happening is her design. And that obviously is spelt out for you. Like, you can tell she's manipulating Denji. You can tell she's manipulating Aki. You can tell she manipulates, like, power even. Like, power is powerless to Makima. Everyone does what Makima wants. So, and that's because of Makima's whole arc and story, period. And where this goes next is very much about that. Yeah, that's kind of where the story goes. I won't spoil anymore, but that's where this is headed.
Gotcha. Now, I gotta hear your opinions on Bleach.
You want to pivot into that now?
Yeah, I do.
For those of you that don't know, when I get hooked on something, I get hooked on something. And I picked up Bleach, what was it, Spencer, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
when we started talking about it?
Yeah.
I have finished the Soul Society arc, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's 180 chapters. Now, that's not an impressive feat. Like, obviously, it's a manga, so like 180 chapters of a manga is certainly not 180 chapters of like a chapter book, but that's a lot of anything to read. And I've shredded through it pretty quickly. And my take so far, I've already said it on TikTok. I'll say it here on the podcast. You know, I keep myself pretty consistent. Bleach is number 2 in the big 3. And I don't think it's particularly close.
So now, you think it is much better than Naruto?
I think that... Let me say this. Let me say this. Let me defend Naruto for a second. Let me get my thoughts out on Naruto.
Oh, after all the shit we've talked, this is going to be...
I still will shit talk it, but I need to get my actual opinion out, because when I made the TikToks, you already saw, I went like, I don't want to say viral because it was like a couple thousand views, but like I had a couple thousand view arguments about Naruto. Lots of comments, lots of likes, lots of shares. Some people agreeing, some people disagreeing. But if you're going to watch my show, you should know my actual stance on Naruto. Naruto is a spectacular premise. It is one of the best premises in all of anime. I think of Naruto much like I think of Star Wars. It is a perfect premise. It is a perfect premise that, if expanded upon properly, would be one of the best stories ever told. period. Naruto has the propensity, has the capability, has the potential to be better than One Piece, better than Bleach, better than My Hero, better than Death Note, better than Attack on Titan, better than Full Metal Alchemist, better than all the big things that people say are their number one thing. It has the ability to be all of those things, but it falls short because narratively, listen to what I say, narratively, it is inconsistent.
Yeah.
From a character perspective, it's spectacular. Like, I'm not going to deny that. From a character perspective, it's spectacular. The arcs the characters take are spectacular. Like, I understand the themes, I understand the foreshadowing, I understand like the direction these characters are taking. However, the way they get there narratively sucks. And there's just no way around that. After the pain arc, the narrative consistency falls off to a dramatic degree.
Dramatic.
When I say dramatic, I mean it goes from 8, 9, 10 out of 10 at moments to like 3 or 4 or 2 out of 10 at times. It is so narratively inconsistent. Like, Sasuke's whole like Taka thing is horrible. It's borderline unwatchable. That entire like him getting the band together of like Suigetsu and Karin, like it's horrible. The entire like 5 Kage summit outside of Sasuke, like his arrival is again top notch. There's a ton of aura and hype moments in Naruto, but the entire 5 Kage summit is dumb. Like, the Danzo thing is dumb. A lot of like the war arc specific stuff is really, really dumb. Some of the narrative decisions surrounding like why characters are in certain positions and why other characters aren't, and why some characters do this and some characters do that. The whole I forget what the actual technique is called, but like the raising of the dead characters, like Minato appearing and all that. A lot of it is just dumb. It really is.
I do like the concept of that, but
again, it helps
the execution was poor.
Yes. Again, listen, narratively, it sucks. But yeah, it's awesome. Like, visually, it's great. For character development, it's spectacular.
Getting to see the characters that they talk about for hundreds and hundreds of episodes, what you never see, and finally getting to see them is a great concept.
Yes, I agree.
Just executed poorly.
Yes, from a narrative perspective, it's unforgivably bad. It's structured poorly. The power scaling sucks. I got in an argument yesterday on TikTok where somebody commented what my argument is. The reason I don't like Naruto's arc is Naruto's entire thing is becoming Hokage. He wants to become Hokage so he can be accepted by the village. That's the whole thing. Well, after the pain arc, Naruto is pretty much objectively, outside of one person, the strongest person in the village. And he's universally accepted by the village. Naruto should be Hokage after the pain arc. But he's not. Why? Well, the argument, he's not ready. Gaara is the Kage in the Hidden Sand.
And not stronger than Naruto.
And not stronger than Naruto. By a good... He loses to art guy. What the hell is his name? There's the D. Deidara. He loses to Deidara. Naruto's not losing to Deidara. Naruto is smoking Deidara's pack. What are we talking about? And that's where I have this problem of power scaling. Is like Gaara is the Kage in the I forget what the actual name of the Kage in the Hidden Sand is. Forgive me, but like Kage. I'm probably totally wrong. Kage.
I forget all the names.
I think it's the Kage. I think the Raikage is the village hidden in the clouds. The Raikage. I think it's the Kage. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is, he's objectively stronger than other Kages. He's clearly Kage level as soon as the pain arc. So why isn't he then made the Kage? Well, Tsunade is still alive. He's stronger than Tsunade. And people will go, well, he's not because she does this later. She only does that after the pain arc. She only unveils that level of strength after the pain arc. So all of these characters...
confuses you.
Yes,
which is also stupid because it's like, if you had this in your belt the entire time,
why did you use it earlier?
Use it back then?
Kakashi is the perfect example. Kakashi gets so much stronger like to an unbearably ridiculous level. And he loses to one single pain in the pain arc. It doesn't make sense. Guy isn't even in the village. He literally writes Guy out of the narrative to protect him for later. He literally can't have Guy in the village because Guy would be so strong.
He'd be too OP.
So you don't even know how strong Guy is at the end of the pain arc. So that's, people will be like, well, you only know this because of hindsight. So it's narratively inconsistent. The only way they get those characters up to speed later is by dramatically increasing their power without any narrative support. Naruto obviously trained, so it makes sense that Naruto gets stronger. Why does Tsunade get so much stronger? Guy, obviously, he was hiding that strength, so we didn't know it, but again, Guy gets a huge power boost. Kakashi gets a dramatic power boost. The rest of the Konoha 12 get pretty significant power boosts without any on-screen training, and we're supposed to just accept it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
Looking back on it, I do enjoy training arcs. Some of the training arcs within Naruto, holy shit, do they drag out.
When he's like for 30 episodes touching a waterfall.
Yes, dude. Oh my god, that is exactly what I was thinking when I said that.
It makes me want to crash out. It makes me want to crash out. Because it's not even training. He's not even training. He's just standing by a waterfall. Again, he's literally training. But for us, the watcher, he's not doing anything. In contrast, now here I can talk about Bleach. Bleach is incredibly narratively consistent. Bleach's arc stays consistent, again, through the Soul Society, which I've now completed, so I can talk eloquently about this. And I've talked to ChatGPT, like I mentioned in the last episode. I'm probably going to finish reading because I'm a pretty fast reader. I'm going to read all of it. And I'll probably be caught up by the next time we do a podcast. I understand that a lot of fans think that it falls off. But from what I've heard, it's not for narrative inconsistency. I've heard it's for animation failures. I've heard it's because the Soul Society is as good as it is. It is a little bit of a drop off, so I can understand that. Like, yeah, the Soul Society is like, it's one of the best arcs I've read personally. So I get, like, if the next two arcs it's like me being mad that, Eminem doesn't make a better album than the Marshall Mathers LP. It's like, well, yeah, it's a 11 out of 10 album. I can't be mad that he doesn't top that.
It's hard to just top.
Yeah. Kubo wrote one of the best arcs of all time. I'm mad the next two arcs aren't quite as good. So yeah, I'm prepared for that. But the point I'm going to make is, from the moment that Bleach starts through the Soul Society, Ichigo stays incredibly consistent. All of our side characters, whether it's Orihime, Chad, Uryu, some of these names I've only read, I haven't heard, so if I mispronounce them, please forgive me. All of them stay very consistent. Rika stays very consistent. All of the captains stay incredibly consistent. And if they change, there is a clear and defined reason for their changing. If someone trains, there's a clear and defined reason that they're training. And you see the training they're doing. And the training is explained in a way that's not like a cheap little, like, oh, he does this and then he gets strong. It's not Dragon Ball where, oh, he got beat up real bad, so now his powers jump by twofold. No, it's he has to do this so he can achieve this. And it's defined. And it's why I now understand why Bleach inspires so much later. I think Bleach is truly the father of modern shonen, way more than like a Naruto or a Dragon Ball is. The influence, the fingerprints is everywhere. It's shocking.
That's very interesting to hear.
So, do you know what Bankai is?
No. You give me like a brief synopsis of like kind of like what the beginning and what happens.
So, Soul Reapers are I hate to use the word race, but it's a great way for me to separate it from mortals. Soul Reapers are a race of beings that use a power system called spiritual energy, essentially. And they emit what's called like a spiritual pressure. And that pressure, think of it as like a ki or a chakra, whatever, a hockey. It's that thing in the Bleach universe.
Got you. Okay.
Each Soul Reaper. Yeah, precisely. It's literally Curse Energy JJK. Each Soul Reaper has a sword, a Zanpakuto. Again, if I'm not pronouncing these words correctly, forgive me. I've only ever read them. I have not heard them. A Zanpakuto is a sword that a Soul Reaper has that is theirs, much like a cursed technique. It's yours. This is the one that you have. It doesn't change. It is born to you. Now, that might change later in the story, but as of where I am right now, and outside of one other character, I think one character does use an additional Zanpakuto, you get yours. This is the one that you have, and its abilities belong to you.
Okay.
The Zanpakuto has a name. The name, knowing the name, allows you to use part of its power. I think it's called Shikai. If I'm not exactly correct, I'm close. That is a portion of the power. It's the true form of your Zanpakuto. So it's a katana in like its physical form, and when you know its name, it becomes something else. That's why his sword is so big. His sword is Zangetsu. Once he knows its name, it becomes larger.
Gotcha.
Some people's swords are wiggly. Some people's swords look like Sly Cooper canes. Some people's swords are small, very, very small. Some people's swords are not physical. They're like mist. Like all these swords, once you know their name, become something else. Then there is a second level to your Zanpakuto that is Bankai. Not only do you know your sword's name, you have like this deep, profound relationship with your sword. So much so that you're able to like tap into its greater potential, essentially. It's literally, like, to visualize it for you, it's domain expansion.
Okay.
There's
that
literally
makes it very simple.
There's literally a character whose Bankai is like Infinite Void. There's literally a character. He's blind. He can't see. So his Bankai is he takes away all of your senses in like a black void.
That's interesting. I like that.
And Kenpachi, who I think you're familiar with, fights this character. So, like, the foundation of like what modern anime is, what modern shonen is, the fingerprints of Bleach is all over it. The captains, like you've got Kenpachi and you've got Aizen and all the other captains, that's clearly like Hashira, and like the other like tier 1 grade 1 sorcerers. Like the fingerprints are all over all over it. All of the 13 forgive me, I'm not coming up with the name. They're like teams, whatever, 13 cohorts, 13 whatever. There's like teams of Soul Reapers that have a captain and an assistant captain. It's like the hero agencies in My Hero Academia. Like these like head character, sub characters below them. Like
it
the finger
sounds like what we just saw on Chainsaw Man. The
it's again like that idea. That's Bleach. It's all over modern shonen, and like the power system, Curse Energy is
Yakuto, the cleaners.
Yeah, it's all over modern shonen. It really truly is. And so there's this then like gray area kind of conspiracy that happens in the Soul Society arc, is what the entire arc is about. And at the end of it, it is revealed that I think you already know like who this character is. I won't spoil it for when you read it, but a certain character is not who we think they are. And it goes from there, which are now the subsequent next 2 arcs, followed by 1,000-Year Blood War. But that's Bleach in a nutshell. And in my opinion,
is that character Eye Patch character?
No. Kenpachi is not this character, which is so surprising because that's the character you always see.
I thought Aizen was Eye Patch character.
No, you are confused. Kenpachi is Eye Patch character. Aizen, you're correct. You have the name right. Wrong character. Aizen is indeed the character that is not who we think they are.
Okay.
But he is not Eye Patch character. That's Kenpachi.
Gotcha.
So you were right. You that's what's so funny is you would have read this and been like, oh, okay, I get it. You knew the truth. You just didn't know who was who.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
Knowing now you went back and watched a few episodes and kind of said that the animation isn't what it could be.
Yeah.
What do you think deserves the remake more? One Piece or Bleach?
Bleach, absolutely.
Bleach, absolutely?
1,000 times out of 1,000. One Piece I don't think One Piece needs it. And it's that's not me saying that One Piece is perfect. I love One Piece so much, and part of it is because of what those early seasons are. One Piece almost lends itself to that animation style at points where it's so feel good. Like some of those scenes belong in like a 90s, and there should be this graduation of it because it's this borderline 30-year long thing now. I like it that way. I like that it starts as one thing and ends up as something else. And I think it should stay that way. I'm not against the idea of the One Piece, but a redo of Bleach, I think if they remade Bleach today, it would be one of, and with good pacing, if they paced it well, if it maybe had as many episodes as My Hero, because it's a similar number of total chapters. I think actually Bleach has more, by about
How
200
many total
chapters.
does My Hero have?
420 something.
Okay.
Bleach is like 620 something. So I'm a little off. Forgive me. But like I think if it was paced well, you maybe do 8 to 10 seasons, like 24 episodes. I think if they did that, paced it real well, you could have potentially like a modern masterpiece. It would be one of the things that people would go like, this is a top tier anime manga for forever. And again, that's just me talking through the Soul Society arc. I will report back next week once you're caught up as well, because you're going to start. I don't expect you to get through Soul Society, but as long as you get close to getting to Soul Society, I'll be happy because there's a lot to talk about, even in those first 70 chapters or so. I'll be fine with that, and I will likely be done. I'll probably be caught up by next week. It's spectacular.
That's what I've always heard.
And again, like I've had a lot of people tell me like, oh, well, you're not gonna like the next 2 arcs. If the next 2 arcs are just fine, I will like it more than Naruto. I'll leave it at that. Like the Soul Society arc is so good. Here's the Jim hot take of the week. Soul Society as an arc is better than any arc in Naruto, period. Soul Society as an arc tops anything in Naruto, period.
Okay. I'm very hyped to see what this is then.
You've got hype moments in Aura. You've got some pretty big surprises. You've got side characters doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You've got main characters doing a lot of the heavy lifting. You have fun little reveals. I'll leave it at that. You have a great story. You have multiple great villains. You have, again, like one of the coolest, most influential power systems of all time. It's genuinely really, really spectacular in a lot of really terrific ways. And you've got characters that turn leaves. You have characters that change hearts. You have characters that are gray. I literally at one point, I sometimes spoil things for myself, but in like a non-contextual way. I'll ask ChatGPT like, "Hey, no additional context, yes or no," and it'll either say yes or no. And I'll be like, the question I asked it was, Kenpachi, eye patch guy, no additional context, good, bad, or gray? It was like gray. I'm like, man, like I love that because he's so evil when you first meet him. He's so terrifying when you first meet him, and it's not that he's evil. He just loves to fight. he just wants to fight. He just wants to kill. That's all. He's not evil. He just wants to fight.
Nice to just throw in one of those characters.
He just wants to scrap. He wants a good fight. That's all he wants.
He's a Inosuke.
He reminds me. Yeah, he's a Inosuke. But like, if you took a Inosuke and the evil eye and blended them together, that's what Kenpachi is. Like,
that's interesting.
He just wants to fight. He's more serious than both of those characters by a lot, but that's what he is. Like, he just wants to fight. He just wants to kill. He wants the joy and thrill of battle. And the idea of not fighting at his full potential disgusts him. He's like, you're not even worth killing. This is dumb. Like, he's like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I'm gonna go find someone else to kill. Like, he doesn't even care. So that's why I love him as a character. Aizen is terrifying. Like, and he's not in the story much to this point. He might have 4 chapters of content, and he's terrifying. It's really good.
I'm excited to see and read this then.
It's very good. It's really good. I think you will get hooked the same way I did. I don't know if you will agree with me that it's better than Naruto, but I think it is. I think One Piece, obviously One Piece is my number one. One Piece is the greatest piece of it might be the greatest piece of fiction ever written, frankly. Just I'm saying that as another one of my hot takes. Greatest piece of fiction ever written, bar none. It's up there with like Lord of the Rings for me. It's genuinely elite, like Hamlet level. Like I'm talking like, yeah, there's Hamlet and then there's Lord of the Rings and One Piece. Like that's kind of how I think of One Piece. Truly, it should be studied in schools. Like it's a piece of modern literature.
Yeah.
Bleach is number 2, like behind, again, in the big 3. Is there other anime that I still think is better? Yeah. Full Metal still better. Attack on Titan still better. I still think My Hero is better. A lot of my favorite things I think are still better. But if you want something really, really good, it's genuinely so good, and it's fun to see how it inspires. Because again, like there was literally a moment like when I saw the first Bankai, I'm like, oh, this is domain expansion. This is domain expansion. He literally took Bankai and was like, well, what if it was not that anymore and it was something else? Like it's bar for bar. It's so cool to see like the evolution of that kind of idea of like this hard written power that each individual character has. Very, very cool.
I think that's kind of why I appreciate Naruto and having watched what I have, because there's a lot of modern now shonens and animes post like Shippuden that have taken a lot of inspiration from that series. So it's nice.
I don't disagree. Yeah, I don't disagree that it's influential. Obviously, it's influential, right? Like we see, and I think it's more culturally. Here's what I'll say: I think it's more culturally impactful than Bleach, but I don't think like the mangakas feel that way, and I think it's apparent. Like if you'll understand what I mean. I'm not gonna expand upon it. I don't feel like I need to. I think I've beaten a dead horse at this point. I think that when you read it, you'll agree. Like Naruto's influential to the readers. It's not influential to mangakas. It's just not. Not the way Bleach is.
It's fair. I can see that.
And apparently this is some anime tea. Apparently those two have beef, Kishimoto and Kubo. Apparently they don't like each other. I just heard that. I don't know if that's true. I mean, I'm not going to slander these two people I don't know that don't know I exist and aren't from the same country as me. But that I've heard that they don't get along. Isn't that funny?
Because usually I don't hear a lot of stuff like that.
Yeah. Apparently they don't fuck with each other. So yeah, I really have enjoyed what I've read of Bleach. I'm very excited to wrap up what I'm going to do, and I'm making this known to the audience. I'm going to read the rest until Thousand Year Blood War, and then Spencer and I are both going to do that, and then Spencer and I are going to simul watch Thousand Year Blood War together. Maybe we'll even do like a watch party or something. We could do that. That'd be fun.
Thank God that hasn't fully ended yet. So we're not like actually behind.
Yeah, we're not actually behind. That next season comes out next year, which is really interesting because that is something that is old enough that like, oh, this is kind of neat that it's still going in this way, and it's going because of the gaps that it took, because it's lacking popularity. I acknowledge that, but I think it's for lack of exposure, not for lack of being good.
When was that finished written?
Oh, like, God knows. I couldn't answer that for you off the top of my head. I can look into it. Let me see real quick. I mean, for reference, like it's old anime. Like it's 90s anime. I mean, it's 2000s, but you know what I mean.
So like, when could Thousand Year have finished being written? And it's crazy that it's
I don't want to say it's recent
until now.
Ooh, it is recent. Over or under 2011?
Oh, okay.
Over or under? Over or under?
Oh, over under?
2011.
20.
You don't know how an over-under works.
Over 2011.
Over or under 2015?
I was gonna say 2015.
Over 2016.
Oh wow.
Like,
wow, when I graduated.
I met my wife in
Graduated high school.
2016.
That's
I
insane.
met my wife in 2016. Like, that's super recent for me. So yeah, like it's not an old story. It's just that it hasn't gotten the love that I think it deserves. And now that it's getting this like anime adaptation, and it's universally agreed, some of the best animation that's happened in the last couple of years. I'm excited to see how this last season is received. Again, narratively, I'm loving it. I kind of know where the story goes, and I'm not mad at it. I really like where the story is going to go, and I'm optimistic for when I'm finished having another anime that I can go. Okay, this is in my top 5. No, I can't say that. I can't say that in good conscience. I can't say that in good conscience. My top 5 is just so ironclad.
What's your top 5 again?
My top 5 has to be One Piece, My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, and I have to say Dandadan.
I have a hot take. I think that this will end up being within your top 5 by the end 1,000-Year Blood War is done.
You may be right.
Knowing the universal praise that I've heard for that.
You very well could be right. My problem is I simply don't know how anything could jump Dandadan, Attack on Titan, Full Metal, or My Hero. And I simply don't think it's gonna hop One Piece.
Yeah, that isn't gonna happen.
Like Dandadan is my 5th.
Just personal favorite. I
simply don't know how anything's gonna hop over Dandadan. I just can't think of a way it would be possible. The latest Dandadan chapter had me kicking my feet like a schoolgirl, dog. Like I'm hooked on that shit.
Oh, so it's not pure pain anymore?
Dude, he's killing me, dog. He's beating my ass. Every week it's a different feeling that you're feeling. There's no consistency. He wants you on a yo-yo, dude. It's crazy what he's doing. Last week, it was the Monday of eternal suffering and pain. This week, it's the Monday of eternal joy and happiness. And now I'm afraid because I'm like, well, what's going to happen next week? Is he going to cut my arms off and make me cry? Like this is it's astonishing what this dude's doing. He is a master at romance anime, like romance manga. Like he's a master at it, and simultaneously writing. I mean, like it's not One Piece or My Hero Academia from like a shonen perspective, but he's writing a damn good shonen. Like that's what's so cool about it is he's writing a 10 out of 10 romance like with his right hand and simultaneously writing like a 6 or 7 out of 10 shonen with his left. That's what's so cool about it. And
it's just good from all perspectives.
Like, I'm not saying that, like, from a shonen perspective, it's, like, the best thing since sliced bread, because obviously it's a little derivative, right? We can all agree that, you know, ghosts and special powers and things like that, it's a little derivative from some of the other things that have existed, so it's not the most creative thing in the world. From a shonen perspective, from every other perspective, it's the most creative shit I've ever seen in my life. And that's what I think boosts it up for me. From a romance perspective, it's so good. From just like a you know, the broadness of like what it covers, the bases it covers, and there's kaiju and there's ghosts and there's aliens and there's a secret society and there's all these other things. Like from that perspective, he really crushes it. So again, yeah, as a shonen, it's pretty lukewarm. But as a romance, it's 10 out of 10. And then he partners it with all these other things that for me, it makes the whole thing a 10 out of 10. Like all ships rise with how good he is at writing the other things he writes. So, I mean, yeah, it's spectacular all the way around. I love Dandadan.
And not to like give major manga spoilers, but like the alien invasion take that he does, amazing.
His take on an alien invasion is arguably my favorite interpretation of that subject matter. And I've seen a lot of like alien invasion. Like I'm a huge fan of District 9 is what it's called, right?
Yeah.
I love District 9. That's a great premise for like an alien invasion. My other favorite, like my other like top tier alien invasion is Independence Day. I think that is one of the best like
great
interpretations of like and it's two different vibes, right? You have aliens that are like, what are these fucking losers? They can't even leave the planet now. Like, what's going on? And then you have like almighty, we are ants to them. We're coming to kill you, aliens. And it's two different flavors. His aliens are like a whole different. They're here to kill you, aliens, but they're also like vindictive and like slaves, and like it's really good. Like he does it in a really creative way that I just love. And then he partners that
different species.
Yeah, where it's
different
yes,
some species can be to others.
Yes, it reminds me almost of like Rick and Morty's like Galactic Federation, where like yeah, the bugs are like the main army, but like it's all these different conglomerates of planets that are like in the Federation. That's what this is. And they're all here to kill you. And our characters, yeah, that guy got his powers 2 weeks ago. Like, oh, that girl, yeah, she got her powers last week, and they're from a dead alien mother or a dead ghost mom. So we'll piece this out. We'll piece this out together. You know what I mean? It's a really well done thing that he's doing. I can't sing its praises enough, and I don't want to end the episode on just more Dandadan hype. But if you're not a Dandadan reader, you got to start now. Simply do. Oh, and one last thing to end the podcast on: Kyoshi is getting super good. Yeah, I think we're like 70 chapters in. If you aren't reading Ultimate Asterix Kyoshi weekly, you should catch up and start reading it weekly because it's a really, really great manga that I think a lot of shonen fans would really like. Again, as a shonen, it's nothing like groundbreaking. It's characters that have powers fighting demons and devils. It's very like you've seen it before. But if you're into that genre of shonen, it really does it well with a slightly new take. And I'm very, very, very much enjoying it, and you should read it too if you're into that kind of thing. So, ending notes. Chainsaw Man movie. Spencer, rate it.
To get my hot take.
Oh, you have a hot take? Let me get it. Let me get it.
I think as a movie, and I know this is going to be kind of hard to say because of how much I loved the first thing I'm going to talk about.
Okay.
I do think that REZE arc as a movie, self-contained, better than Infinity Castle.
I agree.
Now I will say it's two different types of like choices, and a good opinion that I heard on a YouTube short was that Infinity Castle is like Avengers Infinity War, and REZE arc is more of like a Tarantino, Martin Scorsese type of movie.
I can agree with that. It does feel kind of like that to a degree, yeah, where it starts with this kind of like not that violent flavor, where it's not, something's going on, and then it breaks it. It's almost a dusk till dawn kind of thing. Yeah, I can see that.
I think the pacing is better.
I agree.
Dude, by the end of Infinity Castle, I'll say for as much as I love that series, I was like, okay, when is this going to end?
Yeah, I would agree.
I know that I have 2 more parts, so like this has to end at some point.
Yeah, I agree with you.
The constant cut up of action, that's kind of my biggest complaint about that movie, is the constant cut up of action and flashbacks as compared to REZE arc, where it's like, okay, we're going to have a buildup of story for the first 40 minutes to an hour, and then we're just going to go balls to the wall for the last 40 and give you all that we got at once.
Yep, I don't disagree. So your hot take is better than Demon Slayer movie.
The also other hot take is that you totally could jump in at REZE arc and go from then on.
Oh, I disagree.
For as good as season 1 is, I think this could be a very good jumping point on for a lot of people.
I agree with that, but you still have to watch season 1. I disagree that you can hop in season 2. You have to watch season 1 of Chainsaw Man. There is too much, and this might just be me being a manga reader knowing what comes. You have to watch season 1, or the rest of the arc is not going to make sense.
That's fair.
Have to. It's a must watch. I think you should go back and finish it, frankly.
I'm going.
But yeah, it's a must watch. But yeah, so I mean, let's get our ducks in a row, so to speak. The takes, Spencer. Chainsaw Man movie. What do you rate it?
9 out of 10.
Oh, I think you're low. I think that's a perfect.
You think it is a 10 out of 10?
I don't. I have no notes.
It's so hard to give. It's so hard to give things 10 out of 10s because like I don't want to put it up on a pedestal like that, especially when I haven't seen as much as other people have. like seen as many properties and
Yeah. And that's true. That there's something to be said about that, certainly. What I'll say is this, and I objectively rate the anime and manga that I watch, and I
I'll
have
say
a pretty consistent rating system.
as
Go
a
ahead.
overall movie person, fan, enthusiast, whatever you want to call me, I think it is a 10 out of 10 movie.
Yeah, and again, like when the way I rate things is I try to be super consistent, and I rate things as a whole story. I rate things as arcs. I rate things as episodes. Like I'm into this thing. I have a whole notes app on my phone that is dedicated to how I rate things and how I rate them. I rank them based on story, based on characters, based on music, based on animation, based on pacing. I have a whole criteria list, right? I think Chainsaw Man, the REZE arc movie, animation, you can't deny it's 10 out of 10. Nobody can. Mappa is doing Mappa things. 10 out of 10. Music. I already said. I think that intro is a 10 out of 10. I think the soundtrack's 10 out of 10. I have no notes for that. Story. You know what my take is on the story. We don't gotta rehash.
It's a 10 out of 10.
Characters. I've talked about like Denji and like his weird things and how he, the subtle the nods to, he does understand love, but it's kind of an intrinsic thing. And REZE and her pain and her struggle and her thing. And again, 10 out of 10. I just think there's no way that you can't Angel's whole thing with like, wanting to die and Aki. There's no
really
two ways about it.
That was such a nice touch inside story within the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so
the city and field mouse metaphor also was a great touch.
I mean, again, like the more we talk about it, I'm going to keep saying it. I don't think I have any notes for it. Now, again, I may have said the same thing for the Demon Slayer movie when I first watched it. Again, to get the recency bias out of my head, I think it's closer to a 9 out of 10. And my only thing with the Demon Slayer movie is pacing was a little off. Now, I get it. You have to fit a massive arc into 3 movies. They're all going to be about 2 hours. I preferred the pacing of Chainsaw Man. Hour 40, I thought was a real good place for it to be.
Yep, that 2.5 hours when you're sitting in the theater for that long can just drag a little.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the pacing of the Chainsaw Man movie, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the arc that's going to come out, next year. We also have the JJK movie in just over a month, so that's going to be spectacular too. We're getting 2 Mappa movies, which is amazing. Oh yeah, dude, I'm so hyped for it.
Mappa go ham, it just made me even more excited for JJK.
Yeah, it's going to be so good. And here's the thing: I can't put my finger on how much of the next arc they're going to do. I'm hoping I see a couple of characters. I haven't seen much like leaks or spoilers yet. I watched the trailer. I really enjoyed the trailer, and I'm optimistic for what I'm hoping to see. But yeah, I mean, there's so much good stuff coming, and that's kind of the double-edged sword of doing this anime podcast. And we'll wrap on this. The double-edged sword of doing this anime podcast is there's so much to talk about that sometimes it feels like we just ramble. Like I feel so disorganized, but there's so much to talk about. We're talking about the Chainsaw Man movie. I looked down, it's been 30 minutes. We talk about Bleach, and suddenly we're on like a 20-minute Naruto tangent. Like there's just so much to talk about with this medium that I feel like we're going to get off course sometimes. And I'm fine with that. So,
same.
If anyone is still watching this, which there's no way there is, frankly, there's just no way someone's watching this show an hour and 5 minutes in. If you are, by some
highly
miracle,
appreciate it.
Number one, yeah. Kudos to
True
you.
fan.
Thanks. I can't even say that phrase out loud without feeling stupid. But yeah, like and subscribe. Put a comment. Let us know, like, is this the kind of podcast that you want? Or should we get our shit in order and be a little more directed?
If you have any constructive criticism on, like, how you want topics to flow, or if you have any topics you want us to touch on, or anything you want us to talk about, please comment it.
Yeah, I have a couple topics that I want to touch on next week, because I know that next week we don't have much that we're going to cover in terms of like what we're watching. Because I know this is going to not tomorrow, but next week's episode is going to be a little bit of a catch-up episode where you're going to be doing Bleach and still catching up on My Hero and some of the other things that you're watching and reading. So we're not going to have too much to talk about from a content perspective. So I do have some topics that I want to talk about that are going to be more like high-level anime topics. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to keeping the podcast going and growing and etc. So TikTok, JimCredible14. TikTok, Spencer Shots. Spencer could be uploading there. I'm going to be uploading there. All my best content is there as well. I do a lot of like my just like hot takes and things like that. Great time over there. Arguing with people on the internet's always fun. But yeah, that is podcast arc episode number 8, guys. We will see you next week. I would
also like to throw out there real quick. If
Go
any
ahead.
other anime podcasters by chance run into this podcast and you want to collab, shoot us a DM.
Please, we're open to it. Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to meeting more people in the community and conventions and cosplay and things like that. We're going to be doing a lot of that next year as well when the con season comes around. So, yeah, podcast arc episode 8, guys. Thanks.